Good morning. So happy to be here with you on this Monday in this last week of September. It's full moon, and I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like excitement about the week ahead for various reasons, right? So, yes, thanks for being here. And I just wanted to come on for a few minutes to talk about this aspect, this like power tool piece from this world of meditation, mindfulness, and yoga that I'm so fortunate to get to teach and speak and write about. But this tool that I actually feel like has been really misunderstood, and maybe even the reason a lot of people will try something like meditation and decide that they can't meditate or it's hard. Or even someone might be someone who thinks they should be meditating more, but they're not. This, I think, could be behind some of it. This misconception, I think, about this idea of quieting the mind. And even that distinction between believing that it's about to absolutely quiet the mind for very long, that just the idea or the approach of quieting can be super helpful for a lot of us, right? Because the basis of this is, and really more than ever, this is true for us modern humans, isn't it? That our minds are freaking busy, right? They are going with thoughts all day long, often the same thoughts. We've heard some estimates that maybe we have like 60,000 thoughts a day, which is great. We love that mind and how we can use it and how it helps us create our reality, right? And our mind sometimes, though, is making us a little bit miserable, right? And all that busyness in the mind is taking us out of our moments and helping us, or making it harder for us to be present with our loved ones, with our children, in our projects, much less just enjoying a moment of beauty in nature, right? So, this busyness of the mind, this opposite of quiet, this lack of quiet, is part of the current sitch, right? For a lot of us modern folks, a lot of us Western folks, perhaps. So, yes, for a lot of us, this idea of quieting the mind can sound so like exciting and even inviting, but also intimidating and even impossible, right? Especially once we try it. And I think part of the reason is because a lot of us have gotten it wrong, that maybe it's not about trying so hard to turn off that mind completely for super long periods of time. Of course, if you're one of those humans on the planet who has found a way to actually turn off and stop all thoughts for long periods of time, then let me know, because I want to hear from you, because I feel like I haven't met many in my 20 years of teaching yoga and studying all along the way, right, and the meditation and the mindfulness. So this is all coming from my learning. But I think this is a huge piece that a lot of us could open up to about these practices. That what about just aiming for, playing with more like 2 to 5 seconds of quiet, or even quieting, and the power of that as like a power practice. Super cool. One of the images I love to use and share when I get to teach others is something I got from Eric Schiffman. He'll talk about windshield wiping the mind. That's kind of a cool image for a lot of us to play with. So, what if we could just windshield wipe the mind for like 2 to 5 seconds of quiet? This actually turns out it's a huge deal. It's like totally changes the momentum of the thinking, really breaks up our patterns, really reconnects us with the moment in a lot of ways that actually turns out feels better, because it's more like our human natural state. And it does do that refresh of the mind, even of the creativity. So it's like you're wiping the canvas of the mind, refreshing the canvas of your mind, just to do 2 to 5 seconds of quieting. And then that's where I see we can play with, if we're doing things that feel like practices, whether it's on a mat or on a cushion or on a walk, or any ways that we're playing with quieting the mind, which we can also do doing anything, right? Doing the dishes. But what if it's just about 2 to 5 seconds of quiet? And I got that concept from another teacher I really like, Bentinho Massaro, a spiritual teacher on the planet at this time. But yeah, as I heard about this, as I've played with this, I feel like a lot of us have gotten confused, intimidated, turned off even to things like meditation because we think, oh my gosh, if it's about turning off my mind for very long, well, I can't do that, so that's I can't meditate. Or that sounds really hard, so meditation must be hard. And I vote otherwise. I say, what about for a lot of us just playing with 2 to 5 seconds of quiet, seeing it as a refresh, as a reset, as a reconnect, and all the ways that we might do that, right? And what if we just did that throughout the day as a way to tune ourselves, right? To play with the power of the quiet and the quieting. And lastly, I think I'll mention maybe one of the good reasons for the quieting, especially if you like to get into like a spiritual sense, a feeling of collaboration with the universe or infinite spirit, or even like your heart, your soul, your truth, which is a lot of what these practices can be about, right? Tuning us more into that. The good news is that a lot of traditions teach us that we're more likely to find that, to hear that, to get the good ideas, the inspiration, the hunches, to hear from intuition in the quiet, to be in more of a listening mode, right? To hear from that realm, right? From that part of ourselves, from that part of life. So the quieting becomes this tool that refreshes us, replenishes us, centers us, reorients us, totally shifts the thinking, totally shifts the momentum of the mind, right? Changes our physiology and opens us up to listening more, to hearing more from our heart, our soul, our truth, our God, whatever we call it, right? So yes, just bringing that up today. 2 to 5 seconds of quiet and challenging this idea that it's all about huge, long periods of quiet mind. Again, if you've figured that out, please let me know because I want to talk to you if you have. If you're someone who goes an hour of no thought, I want to talk to you. I want to meet you, right? But I really get the sense that that's not what most of us are even going for, right? And then again, listening to the thoughts in between, that infinite wisdom and the quiet is equally therapeutic too. That you get a lot of awareness, you get a lot of understanding, you get a lot of therapy from hearing those everyday busy thoughts too. So the listening to that is part of the meditation, part of the mindfulness, part of the practices, but then also playing with letting the practices or letting life or just deciding to quiet that mind for 2 to 5 seconds and see what happens. See how you feel. See what you do tune into and how it affects your life, right? Much less your vibe and how you're feeling, how you're flowing, right? Super exciting. So thanks for being with me. If I can ever help you with your practices, let me know. And sending love from me to you. All right. Namaste.